My name is Jessica Miller, and I am 21 years old. When I was a child, I admired every soldier I saw on TV or at the airport. The uniform looked like a symbol of strength, courage, and respect. I thought, one day I will wear that uniform too. One day I will make my country proud. I didn't come from a rich family. My father worked long hours in a repair shop, and my mother cleaned offices to support us. Money was always tight, but we had love. My parents always taught me, work hard, stay honest, and follow your dreams. So when I turned 19, I made the bold decision to join the United States Army. The day I got my acceptance letter, I felt like the happiest girl alive. My hands shook as I held the paper, and tears filled my eyes. I called my father and said, "Dad, I did it. I am going to serve." He was silent for a moment, then said in a soft, proud voice, "Jessica, you've made us proud already." I believed my journey would be about discipline, training, and honor. I imagined myself marching with other soldiers, protecting my country, and making my parents proud. But the reality I stepped into was not what I expected. The first weeks of training were as tough as I imagined, running with heavy bags, crawling under wires, learning how to handle weapons. It was painful, but it made me stronger. I kept telling myself, this is what I wanted. This is my dream. But slowly I noticed something strange. The way some officers looked at me and other girls didn't feel right. Their eyes didn't see us as soldiers. They saw us as something else. At first, I ignored it. I told myself, "Jessica, maybe you are overthinking." But as days turned into weeks, the signs became clearer. One evening, after training, a higher officer called me aside. He smiled and said, "Jessica, you don't have to work so hard. You are here for different reasons." I didn't understand at first. I asked politely, "Sir, what do you mean?" He leaned closer and said, "Girls like you make the Army a little happier. You know what I mean." My heart sank. I forced a smile and quickly walked away, but my mind was in shock. Is this why I am here? Not for defense, not for the country, but to keep officers entertained? That night, I couldn't sleep. I looked at the ceiling and asked myself, why did I come here? Is this the price of wearing the uniform? In the following weeks, I began to notice more. Some girls were invited to private dinners with officers. Some were asked to accompany them during late hours. Many of these girls stayed silent because they were scared. One of my roommates, Lisa, whispered to me one night, "Jess, don't fight it. Just accept it. That's how it works here. If you resist, you'll make enemies." Her words broke my heart. She was not weak. She was simply tired of fighting. Another friend, Maria, cried in the bathroom after being pressured into spending time with an officer. She told me, "I joined to serve my country, not to serve men." Hearing their pain lit a fire inside me. I wanted to scream. I wanted to quit. I wanted to tell the world that girls in the Army were not treated as equals. But I also knew the risk. If I spoke up, I could lose my career. If I stayed silent, I would lose my dignity. Every day I wore the uniform, I felt torn. On one hand, I was proud to wear it. On the other, I felt the weight of the hidden truth. At night, I prayed. I asked God for strength. I remembered my father's words, "Stay honest and follow your dreams." Could I stay honest by staying silent? Number one morning, I made my decision. I could not let this continue. Not for me, not for Lisa, not for Maria, not for any girl who would join after us. I began writing everything down in a small notebook. Every unfair comment, every misuse of power, every story the girls whispered in fear. When I had enough, I wrote a detailed report and sent it to the higher authorities. My hands trembled as I sent it. My heart pounded in fear. What if they punish me? What if they ignore me? But I couldn't turn back. A week later, whispers spread across the base. Investigators had arrived. Officers were being questioned. Meetings were held. The atmosphere changed. Some male officers looked nervous, others angry. Some tried to find out who had spoken up. Lisa looked at me with fear and asked, "Jess, was it you?" I nodded. Her eyes widened, but then she hugged me tightly and said, "You are braver than all of us." Maria smiled through her tears and said, "Thank you. You gave us hope." I wasn't a hero. I was just a girl who couldn't stay silent anymore. The investigation didn't solve everything, but it opened the door. Some officers were warned, some removed, and strict policies were introduced. Training sessions were held about equality and respect. Not every man in the Army was guilty, but the culture needed to change, and now it had begun. For the first time, I felt a little lighter in my heart. My fight had meaning. Looking back, I still believe in the uniform. I still believe in the honor of serving the country. But I also know that wearing the uniform doesn't protect women from injustice. That's why I tell my story. Not to shame the Army, but to show the truth. Because only truth can bring change. I want the world to know. Girls don't join the Army for pleasure or entertainment. They join with dreams, with courage, and with the same love for their country as men. If you are listening to my story today, here is what I want you to remember. Respect every soldier, no matter their gender. Understand that women wear the uniform with pride, not for misuse. Speak up when you see injustice. Silence protects the wrong, but courage protects the future. I am Jessica Miller. I am a soldier, a daughter, and a voice for those who are silent. And I promise you this, as long as I wear this uniform, I will fight not just for my country, but for dignity, equality, and truth.